On the night Owen Callahan lost his job, his apartment, and everything he'd built in 11 years, he found a wet cat under a bench in the snow and put her in his car because he had nowhere else to be. He told himself it was temporary. 4 months later, at 3:08 a.m. in a room that had dropped to 31 degrees, that cat woke him up. The doctor used the word significant. Owen uses a different word. He calls it even. The night Owen Callahan lost everything, it was snowing. Not the soft, cinematic kind of snow that makes cities look like postcards. The wet, heavy kind that soaks through a jacket in 4 minutes and turns sidewalks into mirrors. The kind that makes you walk faster and look down and not notice things. Owen noticed her anyway. She was under a bench outside the building that had, until 6 hours ago, been his place of work. Wet through. Not moving, just sitting in the snow with the particular stillness of something that has run out of options and knows it. Owen had run out of options too. He'd been laid off at 2 p.m. that afternoon. Restructuring, they called it. 11 years with the same company, a corner office on the 4th floor, and a leaving card signed by people who couldn't meet his eyes. His apartment lease was up at the end of the month. He'd been planning to renew it, but that plan, like everything else that day, no longer applied. He stood in the snow looking at the cat. The cat looked back. Have you ever had a moment where you recognized something in a stranger? Keep watching. He picked her up. She didn't fight him, didn't scratch, just went still in his arms the way exhausted things do when they finally stop trying. Owen didn't have a plan. He had a car, a duffel bag with 3 days of clothes, and a cat he hadn't named yet. He drove to the far end of a supermarket parking lot, reclined the seat, and put the cat on his chest to warm her up. She stayed there all night. Owen had grown up with dogs. He knew dogs. Dogs were straightforward. You fed them, they loved you, the transaction was clear. Cats had always seemed to him like a bad deal. All the maintenance, none of the loyalty. He revised this opinion over the following weeks, not because Hazel, he named her on day 3 after his grandmother, for reasons he couldn't fully explain, was warm or affectionate or easy. She wasn't. She occupied the passenger seat like it was her personal throne and regarded Owen's driving with visible skepticism. She knocked his coffee thermos off the dashboard every single morning. She had claimed the one good blanket and defended it with a commitment that Owen found, despite everything, genuinely impressive. But she was there, every morning when he woke up, every night when he couldn't sleep, present in the way that mattered most when everything else had disappeared. By week 2, Owen had found a night shift at a warehouse, enough to eat, enough to keep the car running. By week 3, Hazel had developed a habit of sitting on his chest for exactly 20 minutes every evening before he left for work, as if she was running a diagnostic. Owen started calling it the check-in. Is that routine, or is that something closer to care? Think about it. Still here but haven't subscribed yet? Honestly, that breaks my heart a little. Hit that button, you won't regret it.
By month 3, Owen had saved enough for a room in a shared house. Small, cold in the mornings, smelled faintly of someone else's cooking, but it had 4 walls and a door that locked, and Hazel inspected every corner of it with the focused intensity of a health inspector who has seen things. She approved. Owen could tell because she claimed the radiator immediately and didn't look back. He started sleeping in a bed again, eating at a table, answering his phone. Small things, but after 3 months in a car, small things felt enormous. Hazel, for her part, adapted to indoor life with suspicious speed. The radiator became her headquarters. Owen's pillow became her secondary location. The concept of Owen having his own pillow became, over time, theoretical. He didn't mind. He hadn't expected to not mind, but there it was. It was a Tuesday night in January. Owen had picked up an extra shift and come home later than usual, past midnight, cold, the kind of tired that sits behind your eyes. He ate standing at the kitchen counter, didn't bother turning on the heat, and was asleep within minutes of lying down. At 3:08 a.m., Hazel woke him. not gently, both paws on his face, full weight, completely committed to the task. Owen surfaced from sleep confused and cold, colder than he should have been. The room was wrong. The air was wrong. He sat up, his head swam. He grabbed the wall. The heating unit had failed sometime after midnight. The temperature in the room had dropped to 31 degrees. Owen had been asleep in it for 3 hours, his core temperature dropping steadily, his body beginning the quiet shutdown that hypothermia announces without fanfare. He called his housemate. His housemate called an ambulance. At the hospital, the doctor used the word significant. She said another hour, maybe less, and they would have been looking at a very different outcome. Owen lay in the hospital bed, staring at the ceiling, and thought about a wet cat under a bench in the snow outside a building where he used to work. He thought about the check-in. He thought about 20 minutes every evening without fail for 4 months. When his housemaid picked him up the following afternoon, Hazel was sitting on the windowsill watching the street. She turned when Owen came through the door, watched him cross the room, then walked directly to his chest when he sat down and stayed there, both paws pressed flat, eyes closed. Owen put his hand on her back. He didn't say anything. There wasn't anything to say. You're still here and haven't subscribed yet? That honestly breaks my heart. Hit the button. It means more than you know. Hazel is 2 now. The radiator is still her headquarters. Owen's pillow remains a shared resource, a negotiation that Owen has quietly accepted he will never win. He has a new job, a better apartment, a life that looks from the outside like it was always going this direction. But Owen knows the night it almost didn't. He knows what 31 degrees feels like from the inside. He knows what it sounds like when a cat decides at 3:08 a.m. that sleeping is not an option. He found her under a bench in the snow because he happened to look down, because he was walking slowly, because he had just lost everything and was in no hurry to get anywhere. She was the only good thing about that day. And then, 4 months later, she made sure there would be more days after it. Some things that look like accidents aren't. Some things that look like favors turn out to be something else entirely. Owen took Hazel home because she had nowhere else to go. She returned the favor, exactly once, at exactly the right moment. Do you believe some meetings are meant to happen, or is it all just timing and luck? Tell me in the comments.